following is a presentation of the Big Ten Conference.
Beautiful Saturday afternoon for the 15th all-time meeting between Michigan and Washington. Michigan leads the series 9-5. It's won the last three, and the most important one was the most recent one in January. The national championship game from last season, in which the Wolverines took another one. Yet these two teams this season are completely different, Todd Blackley.
Yeah, a lot of new names and faces, both coaches and players. But one thing that hasn't changed, Michigan's mentality. They are still going to want to try to win the game at the line of scrimmage. When they played for the championship in January, they ran the ball for over 300 yards. You're going to force Washington to defend the run. Now on the other side, we'll see Washington's offense first. Will Rogers has played beautifully. Coach Fish mentioned the penalties. They also have to be better on third down and in the red zone to win today.
Michigan won the toss, deferred to the second half. That means this Washington offense that has moved the ball beautifully will be on the field to start this game in front of their home crowd. And a look at the starting lineup delivered by Papa John's. You can talk about the quarterback, but the running back, Jonah Coleman, has really stood out.
Yeah, we're going to see two outstanding running backs in this ball game, both for both teams. Coleman a little bit different than Mullings on the Michigan side. He can really make you miss. He's powerful, built low to the ground, but has a great jump cut and is able to make defenders miss in the hole. And then keep an eye on the two outside receivers because they have been outstanding too. Jackson, number 5, and Boston, number 12.
Jedd Fisch prefers to have a three-headed monster in the receiving corps. He's got that with Jeremiah Hunter along with those two and the tight end Latu. They will go to the air on first down. Rogers fires open. Boston got it in stride and into Michigan territory. 35 yards on the first play of the game.
Well, right away they go after Jair Hill instead of Will Johnson. A little out and up, and Hill bit on the fake. And they talked about these two corners from Michigan. They're aggressive. They want to go after to make plays. And the first play of the game, they go a double move and out and up for a big play.
How good has Denzel Boston been this year? Leads the team in receiving yards with 7 touchdowns. He had just 6 catches in his career before this season. First down, get it to the ground. Coleman chewing up yards. He forces as many missed tackles as anybody in the Big Ten and picks up 10.
Well, again, he's 5'8" or 9, but he's powerfully built. So watch him as he gets into the hole, kind of disappears, makes guys miss, and then the strength. Will Johnson just bounces off of him, and Will Johnson is a good tackler. But Jonah Coleman is pretty special.
35 missed tackles forced coming into this game, second in the Big Ten in yards per carry and 4th in rushing yards in the conference. He has been so dependable, and in the passing game as well. That's what Jedd Fisch has really been impressed with, his ability in that passing game as an all-around back. This time he stood up at the line of scrimmage, and a nice bolt by Will Johnson, who missed last week's game. A Michigan defense that's happy to have their star cornerback back. And in the first half of games this season, they have been dominant. It's been the second half that's been the struggle.
Well, and the strength of this defense is their defensive front. I mean, you mentioned Will Johnson, but up front, Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham on the inside are both outstanding players. And Josiah Stewart is their best edge rusher, number 0. He did not play a week ago. He's back and ready to go today.
Graham was a game record, 2 first-half sacks last week in the win over Minnesota, 27-24. Play action for Rogers. Unloads, may have been tipped and incomplete out of bounds. Giles Jackson, the intended target, matched up with Will Johnson.
Only a 3-man route, trying to give their quarterback protection. What they anticipate from Wink Martindale, talking to the Washington coaches, is he treats second and long like third down. So that was kind of a third down defense. They had extra defenders in. They played zone. And Will Rogers really know where to go with the football. This is a great matchup between Wink Martindale and offensive coordinator Brennan Carroll and Jedd Fisch, the head coach, all with NFL experience under their belt.
Normally you'd say this is field goal range, but Grady Gross missed 3 field goals last week in the loss to Rutgers. Play action, Rogers on 3rd down and 9, looking to escape. Just dumps it off. Jeremiah Hunter will get it across the 25, but not much further. Zeke Berry makes initial contact, and now we'll see the decision. It looks like the kicking unit is running onto the field.
Yeah, nice job bluffing pressure again. Wink Martindale's reputation is a blitz guy. Bring pressure. That time they showed pressure inside, but they only rushed 4 and played zone behind it, kept the ball in front, and forced the field goal attempt. Now, before the game, I was watching very closely, this kicker, and he looked very, very solid, very confident. And you kind of pull for the kid to get off to a good start after missing 3 a week ago.
Both Jedd Fisch and special teams coordinator Jordan Paopao said his confidence was not shaken by the 3 misses last week. This one from 41 yards, and Gross, no good.
Missed it left, right?
Wide to the left, and now 4 kicks missed in the last 2 weeks after he missed 4 kicks all of last season.
Well, the operation is good, and this one never had a chance.
They really rave about Grady Gross. I mean, you look at last week, he missed from 42 yards early in that game, second quarter midway through, then 37-yarder that could have brought them a little closer, and then this was for the win at the very end of the game from 55 yards out and missed it.
Yeah, just like that one, all to the left, all just never had a chance, missing to the left.
So now Alex Orji and this Michigan offense will come out of the field. And Mullings in his first carry across the 30, just a physical brand of football for this starting lineup delivered by Papa John's.
A couple changes up front for Michigan on the offensive line. It was kind of a new group coming in. New center today, Greg Crippen is in. And then the left tackle, probably their best player, Myles Hinton, out with an injury. So Percy, Jeff Percy, number 79, is starting at left tackle.
Redison is in the game on 2nd and 3. An elite blocker, number 44 in white. Play action, Orji, and a first completion of the day goes to Colston Loveland for a first down. Alex Orji, something Sharon Moore talked about, said that he took major steps in his second start as a passer, but they're looking for more, especially in his progressions.
Yeah, he's just got to get through his progressions faster, be a little cleaner with his footwork. That's good to get a easy completion for his first pass of the game. I think we're going to see more design quarterback run by Alex Orji today as well. Another way to get big plays out of this offense.
Mullings, and this is something he said he's really learned this year, when to take that 2 or 3 yard gain instead of trying to press it.
You know, I go back to Orji because, you know, everybody's talking about, well, their pass numbers are terrible, and, you know,
offensive player losing his helmet.
Thrown for under 100 yards in both games, but he's looked confident. He's had command of the huddle. The team believes in him, and he's taking care of the ball. I mean, the biggest reason he became the starting quarterback over Davis Warren is because of interceptions that Warren threw in his start. So he's doing those things. Now he's just got to find a way to create some big plays in the passing game.
A look at Warren, the former walk-on on the bench, and this was something that Sharon Moore was concerned. This was the first road game of the season for Michigan. Pre-snap penalties, he said, were unacceptable, and we'll hear from Cole Kneppel on the first flag of the game.
I think it's Jeff Percy, the left tackle. We just talked about the new left tackle in the game with a little flinch.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
You see the shift by the Washington defenders, and they're allowed to do that. It wasn't an illegal movement or anything that affected the offense, but Percy just was early in his movement.
The last thing that this Michigan offense wants is to get behind schedule. They've got both of their running backs in now, Donovan Edwards and Kalel Mullings. And Edwards, who went off in the national championship game against Washington, is hoping for another big day here. Play clock down to 5. Morris, the motion man. Edwards, the handoff. And another flag is down on a minimal gain.
Well, that's a good sight for Washington, too, because Zach Durfee, we weren't sure how much he was going to be able to play.
The ball being snapped. Timeout, Michigan.
Well, they avoided a bad play, but Zach Durfee, who has battled a toe injury, showed some quickness and burst coming down the line of scrimmage from the backside to make that play. That's good news for the Washington Huskies.
And great news for Washington overall is the environment coming out and supporting early. This is a Washington defense led by first-year defensive coordinator Steve Belichick. And yes, the name sounds familiar. They're playing up to his standards to a certain degree, but they feel like they still have a couple of areas they can tighten up.
Well, they've been excellent keeping teams out of the end zone, only giving up 12.4 points per game, 249 yards per game. But now the real tests come. And they got tested last week in the loss to Rutgers in a team that wanted to run the football. Another test, big physical offensive line. They've got other ones after this that will be more like the Big Ten that they're moving into now in their ability to stop the run. But so far, the results have been pretty good.
Good look at Belichick. He was back to his alma mater at Rutgers last week. So this stays at 2nd and 11. Play action to Edwards. Orji fires. Another completion, this one to Morris, who spins away and makes it 3rd and short.
Well, 2 throws and 2 good-looking throws. That time, again, no hesitation. We talked about the progressions. Watch Orji come out of the play action fake, set his feet, read, ball gone. I mean, that's what you want to see out of the quarterback. Good feet, good decision, and an accurate throw.
And again, the skill set has always been there. You see the raw talent. Now it's about the next step. 3rd and 3.
Good time for quarterback run here. You've got 2 big hosses in the backfield.
And it is Orji up the middle and showing off the strength for the 1st down.
I mean, you've got nearly 500 pounds in the backfield when he and Mullings line up next to each other. And you gain an extra blocker with Mullings. You bring Bredesen in motion as a lead blocker and Mullings as a lead blocker, and then a 235-pound quarterback who runs the ball like a fullback. This is an excellent short yardage decision right there by Kirk Campbell.
Orji, the most rushing yards by a quarterback in the Big Ten, came in with 113 on the ground. Samaj Morgan missed last week, back in there in motion. Orji 3rd throw, another completion, and Loveland can't get much, maybe a yard.
Colston Loveland missed Alex Orji's first start at USC, and he's like a security blanket for whoever's playing quarterback for Michigan. He's the leading receiver. He's got great catch radius, good after the catch. And he had 4 catches in only 16 snaps last week for Alex Orji. So number 10 very happy to have his tight end back.
They've been clamoring for balance in Ann Arbor. In the first 6 plays, 3 runs, 3 passes. Reverse. Oh, flea flicker. Orji delivers. Too high. Looking for Loveland in traffic and incomplete.
Great discipline by Steve Belichick's defense that time. Michigan thought they could catch him and fool him. But watch this secondary in the back. Nobody bites on the fake. 2 handoffs, a back to the quarterback. They get pressure on the quarterback, and they cover all 3 receivers. And there's the hit at the end.
Sebastian Valdez, who transferred in last December, laid the hit. Now it's 3rd and 9. And movement. Greg Crippen just got knocked backward.
Tunuofi is the guy who made
defense, number 52, in the neutral zone with contact. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Well, that one's pretty obvious, right over the ball.
And the penalties have been the concern for this team. Most in the Big Ten in terms of penalties per game, and 2nd most in penalty yardage.
Yeah, critical mistakes last week with penalties. One that wiped away a blocked field goal, and then the other game they lost to Washington State. 16 penalties for 135 yards.
Marlon Klein, the extra tight end, is in there on 3rd and 4. Orji looking to throw. Orji releases, incomplete. Intended for Loveland over the middle. It's 4th down.
Little pressure, a nice spin move on the inside. Got to Orji and forced the errant throw. Kind of had separation. The ball's thrown low and behind Loveland, but that's because of the pressure.
Michigan is reported as number 93.
That was a little makeup play by Tunuofi, because he was the guy that got the penalty and made it 3rd and 4 instead of 3rd and 9 and got pressure on that one.
Could be a big game for both punters, but Doman will try to pin this Washington offense back deep. And the bounce actually benefits the Huskies a bit. It is inside the 20 as Bolvan comes in to down it. 2nd crack for Will Rogers and company when we come back.
Believe it, Noah.
Jordan, I'm not sure I can, but that's what makes college football so much fun every week. I mean, Kalen DeBoer's former team in front of us, his current team, comes up with a massive win last week against Georgia, and then this one.
Yeah, that's what college football is all about. I'm just waiting to hear the crowd reaction here if they announce or show that score.
That feels like it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Adam Muhammad, the true freshman, running back in there. He skirts through the hole and picks up 6.
Easy up, easy up.
Well, it certainly helps when you're rebuilding a program or revamping even a program. A team that played so well, to have a quarterback like Will Rogers as he gets it right back to the line here. Another handoff. Muhammad will keep the legs churning, and it looks like he's got the first down.
Well, I mean, look, we're talking about Alex Orji making his 3rd start. This guy's making his 46th career start.
Yeah, a little different.
He was a prolific player at Mississippi State, set a bunch of school records, had to learn a whole new offense here, but he is a great leader.
Rogers couldn't get out of there. First sack of the day for Michigan. TJ Guy gets home.
Well, TJ Guy is playing in the place of Derek Moore, who's injured. Here he is coming off the edge right here, and this is, again, the one area of this offense that still has a long way to go is the offensive line. Last year, this was the Joe Moore Award-winning offensive line. All 5 of those guys are gone. These are all new guys they had to kind of piece together out of the transfer portal. Their scheme does a great job of keeping you off balance, but that time the protection just broke down.
Rogers quickly, Latu makes the grab and gets back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard shy of that to set up 3rd and long.
Again, 3rd down and long passing situations. Wink Martindale, defensive coordinator, likes to disguise coverages. He likes to show things and give you something else at the snap.
And he's swagged out.
Oh, yeah.
Look at those sunglasses.
Yeah, he's too cool for school, man. That's for sure.
3rd and 10. Rogers rifles middle. It's caught. Giles Jackson, the former Michigan wide receiver, doing it against his former team on a deep ball.
Well, they got protection against pressure, and if there's no middle safety, this team will attack the middle of the field. Giles Jackson does a great job out of the slot of beating defenders to the middle of the field, and the protection that time held up enough for Will Rogers to get the ball downfield.
Gains 39 through the air. Rogers right back to it, looking for it all. Incomplete for Boston. Quentin Johnson back there.
This Washington team, not only did they lose all their offensive linemen, their quarterback was drafted, what, number 8?
Correct.
Michael Penix Jr. They had 3 wide receivers that all went to the NFL. These 2 guys playing wide receiver now, Jackson and Boston, who each have a catch so far, they were just on the depth chart. They didn't have much action last year. Both of them over 30 catches now for the season, over 400 yards of receiving yards. They have been outstanding, and a great chemistry with the new quarterback, Will Rogers.
Handoff Jonah Coleman, and he pushes forward for a yard. Those 2 guys have been so spectacular. Boston was the one who mentioned playing behind the 3 receivers that got drafted from this program last year, allowed them to learn, and now they feel like it's their time to shine and show exactly what the education looked like. Here's a 3rd and 8. Quick slant, quick catch, first down. It is Boston.
Well, timing route, go away from Will Johnson, work on the other corner, big cushion, and a nice route and timing throw on the slant for the first down. He's a big target. Boston is at 6'3", 205 pounds. Rogers put the ball right on him. And you know, the other guy, Jackson, I mean, this has got to be a special game for him. His career started at Michigan. And he's a feature guy in this Husky offense right now.
So now they're in the red zone, and this is where they've struggled to convert touchdowns. They do get it to Jackson. The speedster on the outside can't break the tackle of Johnson, but picks up 5.
Yeah, 3rd down, red zone, and penalties. Those have been the 3 bugaboos for Washington in their 2 losses.
That's the number in particular, 50% red zone touchdown percentage, because last year it was close to 70%, and that's what made them so tough to guard.
And you would think they would be okay because they have balance, run and pass. You know, they should be better in the red zone. We might even see their backup quarterback, Damon Williams, who's a running threat in a red zone position.
Handoff, Coleman, first down and goal.
Great job by the center. Watch the center kind of get off to the second level here. And Coleman with that jump cut and the strength to break tackles, and inside the 5 now are the Huskies.
Will Rogers said he's a big proponent of giving it to Coleman here, which they do on first down, but he doesn't go anywhere.
They had a turnover on downs, didn't convert on 4th down in the goal line area last week against Rutgers. In the loss to Washington State, their last offensive play, they were stopped on 4th and 1. Tried to run an option into the short side of the field. Jedd Fisch knows this is an area where they just have got to be better. They've moved the ball well all season, but you got to pay it off, and you can't settle for field goals when you're in this part of the field.
Will Johnson matched up on Hunter at the top. Rogers looks the other way. End zone, too high, and a dangerous pass. Berry got a hand on it. Johnson.
Well, I'm not sure what the routes were. It looked like it was going to be a mesh route, but both guys kind of got running into each other.
And this has been exactly what Will Rogers has talked about, the lack of communication
Yeah.
when they get down in goal-to-go situations.
And that's a little perplexing. I mean, you know they work on red zone. You know they go over those routes. That was the first pass they were going to throw in this part of the field. It's something they had to have repped many times during the week. The execution just wasn't there.
Third and goal. Play clock down to 2. Rogers, end zone. Boston, touchdown. His 8th of the year gets Washington on the board.
They go to the 6'3" receiver, Boston, over Jair Hill. And because Hill fell down, this ended up being a touchdown. Hill's in good position, and he slips. And because of that slip, Boston's able to get his hands on the football.
What an effort to get the foot down.
Yeah.
That right heel stayed up. And he has been a touchdown machine. His now 8 touchdowns. He came in with the 7. We're the second most in all of FBS, the most in the Big Ten. And now the extra point by Gross makes it 7-0. Well, this duo of receivers are hard to guard. It was the deep ball to Giles Jackson that eventually set up the goal-to-go situation, and the touchdown for Denzel Boston puts the Huskies up.
Well, I want to go back and look at this touchdown catch and just watch how smart Boston is. When he catches the ball, his toe is down, and he doesn't bring the heel down. He secures the catch. He keeps his toe in the purple. That is good handwork and good footwork by Denzel Boston, who's off to a heck of a start right now.
Most touchdowns among Power 4 wide receivers. He came in with a 7, one of 2 FBS players with 3 games with 2 touchdowns, including Pat Bryant as the other one from Illinois. In the last 2 games coming in, he had 246 and 4 touchdowns. The tear continues for this kid, and it's just another showcase of how deep that team was last year here in Seattle and what Jedd Fisch is capable of with this offense moving forward here at UW. Gross will boot it away. And it will be Harris taking it back. And he just slipped forward to the 25. Well, this is the rematch of the national championship game from last season. But missing identities, it includes the 2 head coaches. Harbaugh goes to Los Angeles. DeBoer goes to Tuscaloosa. 2 top 10 picks at quarterback and 23 total NFL draft picks between the 2 teams. Only 5 returning starters on one side and 2 on the other, which is both the fewest in the Big Ten. And the identities are different in a certain way. Michigan allowed the fewest points in the country last season. Washington had the 2nd most passing yards in the country last season. And while they're not necessarily bad in those categories, it's just not up to the same standard so far this season, as Mullings will get the handoff, patiently running for a gain of 2 as we go to KT.
Yeah, and guys, along those lines, Michigan's Tyler Morris told me it's difficult because it would be great if everything was perfect right now, but every week there are new situations, new ideas, new ways of thinking, and learning how to communicate with one another. And for the Huskies, Cam Davis told me Coach Fisch made an emphasis when he first arrived. This is not my Arizona team. It's not Washington's old team. It's the 2024 team. And Davis said we came together. It's made a big difference as far as our chemistry and our bond on the field, Noah.
And they really worked on that bond over the summer in particular. trying to get as close as they could in a very short period with so many new faces around. For Michigan, it's a continuation with the depth they had last year. A lot of these guys on that team, Orji included. This one batted down at the line. Orji looking over the middle of the field and had that one knocked down by Davis.
Yeah, he was looking for Loveland, who's going to cross in the middle of the field again. That's kind of his go-to guy. And a nice job just with eyes on the quarterback, knowing he can't get there for a sack, getting that big hand up there and knocking the football away. This is right where Washington wanted to be. Force Michigan to play third down. This is not their strength. This is not their go-to situation. Pass blocking and drop back situations on third down.
3rd and 8. Orji feeling the pressure. Stays on his feet. Now looking to get away. Orji trying to run it. He can't. Excellent contained by this Washington defense. And Jordan Shaw coming from the secondary to force him out of bounds.
Watch Lance Holzclaw, number 10. Watch him come on an inside stunt with quickness. He's the first guy that's going to get there. Just beats the right tackle, Evan Link. And Orji trying to make something happen. But as you said, great contain on the quarterback. Flush him out and then get people to the football and not let him get to the first down marker. But getting them to that third down situation is what's critical. You got to play well on 1st and 2nd down to give yourself a chance like that.
And now Michigan playing from behind for the first time in a while as Doman will send it away to Denzel Boston. Calls for the fair catch and makes it just inside the 30. A 47-yard punt from Doman will set up Washington inside their own 30-yard line with a 7-0 lead. And that's some legit jewelry over there. Great look at the water in this beautiful setting in Seattle Alaska Airlines Field at Husky Stadium. And the 3rd look at this Washington offense with a 7-0 lead. Rodgers looking deep again. Had a man open. Boston, was he in bounds?
No, I don't think so.
He was not.
They had all 4 receivers to the same side of the field. They had one guy clearing out. They showed like a bubble screen to Jackson, and then they tried to get it to Boston. The ball just too far outside.
Are you sure? That left toe looked awfully close. Look at it here.
Oh, no, he didn't have the ball.
All right. That's why I wear glasses, Todd. My eyesight's not very good. Either way, it makes it 2nd and 10. Cameron Davis, the senior captain in the backfield, and the handoff goes to Davis.
Yeah, they like all 3 of their backs. You know, we've seen all 3 now. I mean, obviously Coleman off to a great season. Muhammad, the freshman, they are thrilled about. He was committed to go to Arizona. He came with them here to Seattle. And then Cameron Davis, as KT talked about, I mean, he's the veteran guy and could be a number 1 running back in a lot of places. But he's comfortable in his role. He's a downhill runner, kind of gives him a different tempo than Jonah Coleman from that tailback position.
In his 6th year here at Washington after the lower body injury last year. 3rd and 6 to the outside. Dangerous, but it was caught by Rashid Williams. Short of the first down, and Michigan forces a 3 and out.
Yeah, nice coverage by Zeke Berry. Almost came up with an even bigger play. But they got the stop, which they needed. You know, that touchdown pass they gave up earlier in the quarter, the 11th touchdown pass against this defense. They only gave up 8 the whole season last year.
And the 11th of the season for Will Rogers that he's thrown to go with 0 interceptions. A great start for Washington in this national championship rematch. Up 7-0. Aerial coverage brought to you by Ford here in Seattle. A clear day on this Saturday, and Michael Penix Jr., number 8 pick in the NFL draft for the now 3-2 Atlanta Falcons, on hand, received a warm welcome. And I'll tell you what, No Eagle Todd Blackledge, glad to have you in the broadcast booth. First couple drives there, it looked like some Penix-like passes from Will Rogers in this offense.
Yeah, I mean, in a great start. You know, we talked about the problem areas. Only 1 penalty in that first quarter. They were 1 for 1 with a touchdown in the red zone and better on third down. So they're doing what they need to do to put themselves in a position to Try to win this game. And it's going to be a four-quarter game.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, Michigan is too tough an opponent. Now we see Michigan getting the ball back. How do they get Alex Orji more involved? I think more design quarterback runs really is what we're going to need to see. And then Donovan Edwards more involved in the passing game.
Well, this is the first time. Yeah, this is the first time since Orji took over as the starter that he's going to have to really play from behind. Now it's only the one score right now.
But they have to keep it like that because this team is not built to play catch-up football. They got way behind Texas in that ball game, and that's not how this team is built. So they've got to put a drive together here, get back to their identity. Even though they got two new starters in the offensive line, they've got to be able to establish the line of scrimmage.
There's the punt from Jack McAllister on the 4th and 2. Tyler Morris back, lets it bounce out of bounds. Let's check in game break with Jordan Cornette.
Noah, Utah State, Boise State on the Heisman shortlist. Broncos running back Ashton Jeanty strengthening his campaign. 75 yards. He gone. Jeanty has already eclipsed 1,000 yards on this young season. Broncos now lead 28-10, Noah.
But Jordan just said 1,000 yards. It's October 5th.
Yeah.
1,000 yards?
Hey, I don't normally like to talk about the Heisman until November, but this dude is definitely in the conversation.
1,000%.
As is Travis Hunter. I just think those two guys right now are kind of at the top of the list.
Donovan Edwards, bounce it. Edwards, a lot of running for a minimal gain of 3.
Remember in that championship game last year in January, Edwards had 2 long touchdown runs, 41 and 46 yards, had 104 yards for the game. Blake Corum, 134 yards in that game. He's still one of their best 11 football players, and they got to find a way to get him going.
You mentioned the passing game. Jerome Moore has been excited about that. Actually played for Michigan wide receiver coach Roy Bellamy in high school. Sets up 2nd and 6. Bredesen the motion man. Edwards up the middle. There's some tough running.
Well, when you see Bredesen come in motion, believe me, he is going to put his shoulder on somebody. Watch him come across and be the lead blocker. Boom. Puts that right shoulder right inside on Durfee, and that is all that Donovan Edwards needed to get the first down.
You asked Kalel Mullings about Bredesen, and I thought he put it perfectly. He can eliminate a player on the opposing defense every time he's on the field. They have to scheme for him out there.
Well, yeah, a defense has to be aware when he's on the field because a lot of times he's going to show them where the ball is, but you got to be able to withstand the physicality.
That time they got penetration. Edwards had nowhere to run. Valdez coming in for the big tackle.
Well, they tried to block back with the center to get Valdez, and I'm not sure if that's the right scheme. Hard to do. He tries to block back. Valdez beats him to the inside. And Edwards no chance on this play. And again, they're behind the sticks. And this is what Washington wanted to do. Try to create some negative yardage plays and put Michigan in uncomfortable situations. 4 wide receivers to the wide side right now. And different looking formation for Michigan.
Mullins back out there. Design run for Orji. And he spins his way near the 35 as we go to KT.
Well, Sebastian Valdez told me this week there's no secret to what they want to do. They want to come in here and run the ball, and that's the key to their offense. But that is where we want to put them. There's a higher urgency this week to stop those 2 great running backs they have in the backfield and be much more physical, and we're seeing that from number 50 on defense right now, guys.
That's a mentality that came from Jedd Fisch, who worked at Michigan in 2015 and 16 and said, don't be surprised if they run the ball on these types of situations, 3rd and 7. They are perfectly fine doing that if they can find a way to win the game. Told his defense they have to be ready to stop it. Orji looking to pass. Throws, batted down again. Has had trouble at the line, but this time Cameron from Big Galanin came in and put the hand up in the perfect spot.
Yeah, and he was blocked by Mullings. Now watch, Mullings is going to come over. He's going to do his job,
Washington,
but he didn't
number
get.
12 is reported as number 33.
He didn't get the hands down of the safety. I mean, you teach a guy to maybe when you block, take your helmet a little bit lower on the body. That will keep the hands down by those rushing linemen or safeties.
Boston back from this Doman punt. And the fair catch is made at the 30, make it the 26-yard line. Still a 7-0 game here on Big Ten Saturday night. Big Ten Saturday Night is brought to you by Modelo, the reward for full-time fans. By Progressive Insurance, the right call for your home and car. And by Xfinity. Stream sports with Xfinity because it's only live once. Well, of course, last year's national championship, Michigan with the 34-13 win. Then in 1992, the Rose Bowl, number 2 Washington beats number 4 Michigan, claims a share of the national championship with Miami for the 91 season. Washington back out there from their own 26.
A lot of room for Boston at the top of the field.
Play action, Rogers sets the screen, Latu with blocking. The big man rumbling down the sideline, stayed on his feet and gets across the 40, picks up 16.
Azapara, the right tackle. Watch the right tackle get out here and get the lead block. They set up the screen to the tight end. Really nice job getting linemen out in front of that play.
Latu, one of 6 players on this team with at least 100 receiving yards coming in. But Todd, the curiosity was how can they get him even more involved? Somebody coming over from Nevada hasn't scored a touchdown since September of 2022, despite the 6'7" frame and catch radius. Handoff for Coleman, jump cut, Coleman, nice run, picks up 6.
This guy's fun to watch. I mean, he just has an innate ability to make people miss in the hole, in tight spaces. It's just that quick little cut, and then built low to the ground and powerful, so he runs through arm tackles, but that just natural cutting ability in traffic just adds extra yardage to his game. And he came in averaging 7.2 yards per carry.
They have split Damon Williams Jr., the other quarterback, out wide now. Here's a backwards pass. Williams will throw it right back to the other side of the field. Cameron Davis, the running back, has a convoy in front. Davis down the sideline and out of bounds in the red zone. What a play call by Jet Fish.
Wow, what great execution. I mean, this is a gutsy call, right? But this is the guy who's going to end up with the ball. He's going to get all the way over here. There's a pass here and a pass back across. And then a convoy of blockers in front, perfectly executed right around midfield. And they told us Damon Williams is an excellent quarterback. He is not just a running threat. He can really throw the football. And a critical play there. Brendan Carroll, they dialed up a nice one right there. And back in the red zone for the second time.
And back to the air. Rogers delivers. Jackson! Touchdown! Perfect placement. Washington clicking early.
Well, they got it again. They got Jair Hill, number 20. 3 receivers to the same side. They ran out of the bunch. And right before Mason Graham could put a hit on Will Rogers, he gets rid of the ball. And you just see, just turned the defender around. That was Zeke Berry. I made a mistake, not 20, it was 10. Zeke Berry, who ended up in man coverage. And Will Rogers with a timely throw. Take another look at that after this kick, because Will Rogers just got this off right before Mason Graham put a hit on it.
Extra point from Gross as the former Wolverine has his 2nd touchdown of the season. Tremendous action down the field, and it ends in the score.
Now, beautiful drive, trick play, and then a beautifully executed throw to the corner of the end zone. The Huskies on a roll.
Husky Stadium has been waiting to erupt this season. They've had 3 wins, have Washington. All 3 of them have come here. Their 2 losses on the road at Washington State and at Rutgers last week. But the 2 receivers putting in excellent work so far. The captain, transfer quarterback Will Rogers, delivering on time and on target. The trickeration with Damon Williams coming in on that last drive. And it's 14-0 Washington, booting it back to this Michigan offense, looking for some form of rhythm.
Time now for our Nissan Big Shots, and it's the two wide receivers. This was the very first offensive play of the game for Washington. A little out and up. Denzel Boston getting involved early, and then Giles Jackson, the Michigan transfer, with the deep play down the middle. Both of them have a touchdown in the game. Both of them have made their presence felt. And Will Rogers doing a great job distributing the football.
Well, how about this?
Yeah.
Jack Tuttle, the transfer from Indiana, 7th year in college football, has been dealing with an elbow, is in the game for Alex Orji, and he hands it off on first down for Kalel Mullings to pick up 4.
And they've been almost cryptic in talking about him, like when he was going to be back, how healthy he was. I mean, before his injury and surgery, when he came over, they kind of felt like he would be the guy this year. But then he got behind schedule with an injury, and they ended up starting Davis Warren, and then they went to Alex Orji. But Tuttle, the best passer of all of them, and the most veteran guy in terms of presence on the field.
Morgan, the motion man on 2nd down and 6. Tuttle, his first throw is complete to Bredesen. It'll set up 3rd and 1.
A new quarterback in and a new opportunity for Bredesen. We talked about him as a blocker. That's his first catch.
Todd, this is a guy who backed up Michael Penix at Indiana, not even at Washington. Think about how long he's been in college football. He started his college career at Utah before going to Bloomington and then eventually to Ann Arbor. He has backed up 2 top 10 picks in this last year's draft, and now here he is with a critical 3rd and 1.
Well, this has got to be Kalel Mullings' time right here. They've got to win at the line of scrimmage.
And they do. First down, Mullings. Maybe this injects some life into this offense with Tuttle entering the game for the first time this season. Had 130 yards, a touchdown last year in 6 games of action. Orji will stay engaged on the sideline, and that has been something that you can hear from his teammates, his coaching staff, of how engaged he is regardless, even when he lost the job to start the season. Bredesen stays in there per usual. Mullings the back on first down. Play action for Tuttle. Feels the rush, steps up, and he's got a nice gain over the middle of 7.
Nice job by Bredesen, just getting enough of the blitz to allow Tuttle to step up. Watch Bredesen come over and get just enough to allow Tuttle to step up and turn this into a positive play. And as long as Michigan can stay ahead of the sticks, then they can play their style of offense. And Tuttle has given them just a little bit of juice here. Hasn't done anything spectacular, but just a little curveball throwing at the Washington defense right here.
2nd and 3 with both backs. Edwards. First down. Tupatala eventually wraps him up. But this would be a huge development to get Donovan Edwards back in rhythm.
Yeah, and I like this using both of them. They call that 21 personnel, 2 backs and 1 tight end. I like both of them in the backfield. They're both excellent runners. Edwards is excellent as a receiver out of the backfield. And if he runs the ball, Mullings becomes a lead blocker at 240 pounds. So it's a nice combination having those guys on the field.
Do you consider Bredesen a running back, a tight end? What do you consider him?
He's a fullback, H-back is what he is.
Could we see 31 personnel? First down. Tuttle escapes. And again with his legs, Tuttle gets it across the 40.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. I mean, we talked to the coordinators, we talked to the head coach, we talked to players. There was just no hint that Tuttle would be ready to play in this ball game, but obviously they knew what they had and feel comfortable with his health, and he has given them a little bit of energy here in the 2nd quarter. Critical drive here, but they're ahead of the sticks, which is good for them.
Edwards stays in on 2nd and 3. Edwards, look out! Donovan Edwards, game-breaking speed, touchdown, 39 yards. The Don is back.
Well, the center, Greg Crippen, and Our guy Bredesen with 2 key blocks in this play looks just like the national championship game. Watch the center block back and Bredesen kick out, and Donovan Edwards runs through the hole for another long touchdown against the Washington Huskies. Did it twice in January.
At 104 yards, 2 touchdowns in the national title game as Vada adds the extra point. These were both season highs last year for a guy who had so much expectation. He mentioned to us before the season, I can't press it. Before this week, Sherrone Moore said he can't press it. Patient on that run, and Michigan back within a score in the second quarter.
Well, Jack Tuttle gave Michigan a little bit of juice, but Donovan Edwards really capitalized and shows his leadership. This was a couple series before that last touchdown drive. One of the respected leaders on this team, then he comes back with a 39-yard touchdown. And again, Donovan Edwards, I think he likes playing against the Washington Huskies.
I don't think the Washington Huskies want to see much more of Donovan Edwards is the problem. They voted a captain this year. We asked him about what last season taught him, and he said he grew him into a man. He had to sit behind Hassan Haskins when he first got to Michigan, and then Blake Corum. He thought, I'm going to be a #1 guy right off the bat, and it just didn't quite work out that way. Taught him patience, and the leadership qualities have come to follow as well. With a big touchdown run there, brings it back to 7. With Discover, every fan earns cash back on their game day purchases. Discover, the official card of the Big Ten. Well, last night, O'Day defeated Bishop Blanchette 56-17 here in some Friday Night Lights action in the Pacific Northwest. O'Day all day, 56 points, come on. And the rushing comparison has been, as expected, in favor of the #10 team in the country here. The passing game, as expected, in favor of the Huskies as they look to re-extend the lead. Now remember, Michigan did win the toss, elected to defer. We'll see if Washington can extend. Rogers, dangerous.
Yeah.
Incomplete.
Yeah, Hausman was dropping from his linebacker position and got a hand on this football. Watch Coleman do a great job of picking up the blitz to allow Rogers to get rid of this football, but still a dangerous throw in the middle of the field. Hausman gets a piece, I think, maybe not, but good coverage by Jair Hill behind it.
Rogers has not thrown a pick. In fact, Washington's the only Big Ten team without an interception this season. Handoff for Coleman, and he runs into the pile for 2.5, maybe 3. Hausman, who just missed out on the interception, the first one there.
Well, nice job by Michigan on those first 2 plays. They had backup defensive linemen, and now on 3rd and long, they bring their big guys back in. Wink Martin knows if he can get off the field here, the momentum of this game here in the second quarter could shift to the Wolverines.
And the Michigan fans have traveled well. Their bench is looking back towards that section and trying to get as much noise as possible here at Husky Stadium.
Grant and Graham in the middle.
3rd and 7 for Rogers. Dials it up. Open. Incomplete. A little bit too far in front of Boston.
It was too far in front because Josiah Stewart got in the lap of the quarterback. It's a good route. There's separation, and it could have been a completion, but watch Josiah Stewart with the inside move. Number 0 gets right into the lap of Will Rogers and affects that throw. Michigan very happy to have Josiah Stewart back. He's been their most dominant pass rusher early in the season.
Now a chance for some decent field position for Michigan after the defensive stand. McAllister nearly blocked. Morris back there, and he's got some room to work with a flag down. Down the sideline and out of bounds near the 40. We'll wait for the penalty. It was a 45-yard punt and a 14-yard return.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 16. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st and 10, Michigan.
Josiah Edmond called for it. Terry McCauley gave us the thumbs up to confirm, and Michigan with a chance to drive it down and tie the game. Beautiful views from Husky Stadium. Overlooks Lake Washington, the Cascade Mountains, Mount Rainier. And a look at the United Cam from inside the stadium. Fans have been juiced up, and it's been a great atmosphere as expected. A little over 70,000 the capacity here, and it's been sold out for a while. Students back on campus, excited. And now we'll see if Michigan can continue its offensive momentum from the last drive where they went 75 yards and came away with the touchdown from Edwards. It is Tuttle to the air, and he fires a dart caught by Loveland.
Well, I think the thing that Tuttle did by being on the field is he forced this Washington defense to play more honest. When Orji was playing, Washington was saying, look, we're going to try our best to stop the run and dare Alex Orji to beat us throwing the football. And so they kind of played heavy-handed on that. All of a sudden, they bring a new quarterback in. The book on him is he's a better thrower, and it's forced Washington to play a little bit more honestly.
Edwards slicing his way through this Washington defense. Power running from Donovan Edwards.
And that is what has opened up more running lanes for Michigan here in the second quarter. Make this defense play a little bit more honest. Offensive line doing a better job. And Donovan Edwards running with some authority.
Just ran over Jaden Wayne, the 6'6" sophomore transfer from Miami. Edwards had 9 carries for 34 yards in the win over Minnesota last week. He has already just about doubled that here in this first half, and now has on that run.
Opportunity for Michigan here at the end of the half. They deferred after winning the toss, so they'll take the kick to start the third quarter. A chance to maybe go 2 for 1 here. Ron Moore knows that. Want to use as much clock. He's got 2 timeouts left. Offensive coordinator Kirk Campbell.
Also the quarterback's coach, and they all say he just brings a swagger in that room. And right now, Jack Tuttle coming in cold, is playing with a little bit of that swagger. Morris, the motion man on 2nd and 8. Tuttle through his progressions. Leave it. There is Edwards with a flag down. Stutter step move out around midfield, but this one could be coming back.
Thrown in the area where you would expect holding, or could have been defensive hands in the face too. We'll see what they call.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense. 15-yard penalty will be added at the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Jacob Bandez, and this is again the penalties that pile up for this Washington team.
Yeah, and it's the 15-yard variety. Those are the ones that Jedd Fisch really wanted to try to eliminate. Nice job by Tuttle, though, going through his progressions and then dumping it off to Donovan Edwards. Again, you get a guy like that the ball quickly in space, he's going to make some good things happen. And then you tack 15 on top of that. And Michigan in good field position again.
This will likely be the final play before the 2-minute timeout. Play action, Tuttle looking back that side. Releases, incomplete, and we'll get one more.
Yeah, they tried to go with a heavy formation, made it look run all the way, and then play action. And Washington, good discipline in the back end of the defense. There are really only 2 receivers running down the field, Loveland and Tyler Morris, and both of them were covered well.
Edwards has come alive. We haven't seen as much of Mullins so far in this first half after 3 consecutive 100-yard games on the ground. Edwards delayed handoff. Edwards picks up 8. And that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout with 1:59 to play in this first half. Michigan driving, knocking on the door of the red zone after Washington took the 14-0 lead here in Seattle. It's the Wolverines marching their way down on Big Ten Saturday night. Well, this was the quote of the week from Jedd Fisch. Said this after the loss to Rutgers and then again pregame to Catherine. I told the team in the locker room, you can't play 2 teams. Can't play ourselves and our opponent. He mentioned to us the 15-yard penalties. Saw it with the hands to the face on this drive. He also was quick to say, coming into the game, 6 touchdown drives allowed, 5 were because of penalties.
Yeah. Well, they were pretty good in the first quarter, not so good in the second.
Mullins wrapped up. Big time penetration and drop by Jacob Lane. 4th down.
Well, great quickness by Lane. Here he is right here. He's going to get right between the guard and the tackle with quickness and get Mullings behind the line of scrimmage. What a play. Mullings not used to the handoff from Tuttle. Very lucky they didn't fumble, because that was not a clean exchange between the new quarterback and Kalel Mullings. Remember, Edwards has been in most of the time with Tuttle. Michigan very lucky that they even get an opportunity to kick this.
So Washington will take the timeout to retain as much clock as possible here with 1:55 to play. Coming up on the Xfinity halftime report. Down goes number 1 in the SEC, a stunner. We're the best teams in college football. It's a legit debate at this point, and the current Heisman contenders, Todd mentioned a couple of them early in this first half. All that with our studio crew. This is a 45-yard attempt from Dominic Zavada, who is 7 for 7 on the season. And Zavada knocks it through. Back-to-back scoring drives led by Jack Tuttle, and Michigan back within 4. So they don't get the touchdown, but they will get the kick to begin the 3rd quarter. However, they left a lot of time on the clock with now 1:49 for Will Rogers in this Washington offense that we've seen has a lot of capability for explosion down the field.
They do, but they've been a little bit slower going here in the 2nd quarter. Michigan's defense has gotten some pressure, and so I think what Jedd Fisch and what Brendan Carroll will look at here is they trust their quarterback to take care of the football. That first down, if they get a good first down early in this drive, they've got 2 timeouts, then they might unleash them a little bit.
And they just put up that final score, Vanderbilt and Alabama, and that was the response from the crowd here in Seattle. Doman sends it away. And the fair catch called for and made by Reynolds. Well, Will Rogers in this game, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. The offseason timeline, it was a roller coaster. Entered the transfer portal November 24th. Committed and transferred to Washington December 15th. Then January 12th, Kalen DeBoer goes to Tuscaloosa. Washington worked quickly. 2 days later, they hired Jedd Fisch as their new head coach. And then 9 days after that, Rogers said, you know what? I'm staying. I'm sticking with my commitment to this city and to this program, and it has worked out very well. He has played some excellent football for this team.
Well, and he also knew Jedd Fisch's track record, both from an NFL perspective and working with quarterbacks. And it was a good relationship for him to get involved with.
Handoff on first down goes to Davis, and he pushes forward for 3. Ran right into a brick wall. That is Kenneth Grant. 6'3", 340.
Will Rogers had to learn a completely different offense. I mean, played for Mike Leach in the air raid offense at Mississippi State. This a pro style, much different verbiage.
Boston with the grab.
And there's the first down. Now maybe they get a little bit more aggressive. Clock stops while they move the chains. And let's see now if they push the ball downfield a little bit more now after that first down.
Boston with 64 yards on the touchdown. Jackson with 55 in the score. And now this one's going nowhere with Cameron Davis as Hausman came up to make the tackle.
Well, Mason Graham made the play. I mean, he just stood up his man right in the hole and was able to redirect the back. A little surprised by that inside run there as we're now under a minute.
So 2 timeouts to work with for Washington. And Brady Gross has already missed another field goal today, and this one's a completion and a first down to Rashid Williams.
Well, they brought a blitz right here, and Will Rogers was able to get it picked up by his back Davis and hit that voided area on the seam route. Nice job by Cameron Davis and pass pro.
Rogers protected, perfectly delivered. Boston out of bounds, working against Jair Hill, and he wins the battle. 16 yards.
Too big of a cushion by Jair Hill. I mean, he's just bailing out of there. This is a long throw from the right hash to the left sideline, but the corner playing too soft on that coverage. And Rogers able to make an easy throw and catch.
In the field goal range with 2 timeouts to work with. Over the middle, catch made, And Latu doesn't get further than that. Well, they use one of the timeouts here with the clock ticking.
Doesn't look like Jedd Fisch is going to use it. Trying to get at the line of scrimmage. A lot of clock going away here. Now they use a timeout. That's kind of surprising. They lost a lot of time right there. I mean, he's definitely in field goal range at this point. If he's thinking just add 3 more, even though his kicker missed one.
Missed from 41 on the first drive of the game.
I don't know where he's going right now. He's coming out on the field. Are they going to kick right now with 17 seconds and a timeout?
I think he's just lining it up and visualizing.
Okay.
Visualize an attack.
Okay.
It's from the great Bobby Boucher.
That was really interesting.
So it's a 2nd down and 6. You've got 1 timeout to work with. You imagine they save it for the field goal opportunity. At this point, you go sideline or end zone, right?
Yeah. Yeah, or you can, I mean, if you don't get in, you can really throw anywhere here with the 1 timeout. If you get a first down, it'll stop to move the chains as well.
Rodgers delivers. Latu. There is the first down as he dragged forward inside the 15 to the 12. Hausman wrapped him up. Clock will pause.
There's that big tight end, that big target in the red zone.
Oh, they're not going to clock it. They're going to go. Rodgers looking end zone. Boston incomplete. 4 seconds.
They went for the slant and go against Will Johnson. And he had it, just Will Rogers overthrew it. Watch Will Johnson bite on the slant inside, and he's got enough separation. Will Rogers just too much on the throw. They knew that Will Johnson, who has 2 pick sixes already this season, likes to go for the play. And they had what they wanted there, and Will Rogers didn't make an accurate throw.
So it'll be the captain, Grady Gross. 3 misses last week, the miss in the first quarter this week from 41. This one will be from 28, but not before a timeout.
2nd charge of the half, 30 seconds.
For Gross, the confidence had been there all week. He said, I can't wait to get back out there and kick again, and he missed it the same exact way he missed the 3 last week in Piscataway.
And again, watching him before the game, I paid particular attention just watching him, and he was rock solid. You just got to wonder what's going through the kid's head right now.
They brought in a kicking consultant, a kicking specialist, in Gary Zahner, to look at the film and give perspective. He said there's nothing wrong with the kid. He's just got to go out there and he's got to do what he's done for years.
Well, if he misses one left from this position on the field, it would be a duck hook. So this might be in his favor, kicking from the right hash.
28-yard attempt. Johnston the snap. McAllister the hold. And this one's blocked. Michigan got a hand on it, and that's how this first half is going to come to a close. Gross can't catch a break, and the Wolverines keep momentum into the half.
I think it might have been Kenneth Grant on the inside, number 78. Let's see if that's who gets the big hand. He's right next to Mason Graham. Gets airborne. It might have been Mason Graham who got it right next to him.
It was. Big 5-5 with the big play as we go down to KT.
Coach, first off, what can you say to Grady Gross to get his confidence back?
I keep trying to talk to him about saying you got to stick with your process, and you know we got to try to make some of these. He made it as extra points, but we got to make that one, and we got to make, that got blocked and we missed one.
Will Rogers has done an excellent job distributing the football. What more do you want to see on offense in the second half?
Yeah, I wish we hit that touchdown pass to end the half right there, and then we wouldn't have had to kick the ball. Otherwise, we just got to keep doing our thing, not turn the ball over, get some stops.
And finally, what defensive adjustments will you make now that Michigan's utilizing a quarterback that passes the ball a lot more?
Yeah, I think we just have to play more normal defense, a little bit less, let's call it option football.
Coach, thank you very much.
Jedd Fisch open, honest, and with a 4-point cushion going into the half. We'll check in with our studio crew. Michigan finding some rhythm here in the Pacific Northwest through 2. Get more with Geico. Time now for the Big Bulletin, brought to you by Genesis Motor America. 14-10 halftime score. And Donovan Edwards likes playing against Washington. His last 2 games, 181 yards, 3 touchdowns, 77 on the ground so far today. The Washington wide receiving corps, and especially these 2, Boston and Jackson, have been stupendous, both with a touchdown in the first half. And the Michigan offense, with Orji on the first 3 drives, 3 punts. The last 2 drives with Jack Tuttle, the 7th-year senior, 10 points. Grady Gross, the struggles continue. Has now missed his last 5 field goals in the last 2 games. 4 missed, and then the last 1 blocked to end the first half. And it will be Michigan who deferred to this second half to start with the football.
And I would guess it's got to be Jack Tuttle again, right?
And a little bit of a pooch kick to the 20, and the fair catch called for there as we go to KT.
Well, guys, yeah, back-to-back scoring drives by Jack Tuttle to end the first half. I just asked Tyrone Moore why he decided to make that switch ultimately at quarterback. He said it was simple. We needed a little bit of a boost, and he provided that energy. He provided that spark. He practiced well all week. He's been healthy. I said, when did you know he'd be ready to play in this game? He said, well, we've known for a few weeks now, but it was finally the time to put him into the game, guys.
You know, KT, the reality is he did give him a boost, but he was only 3 for 4 for 26 yards. Really, Donovan Edwards gave them the bigger boost in what he did. For Michigan to win this game in the second half, Jack Tuttle's going to have to make some plays down the field throwing the football, because Washington will make the adjustments with Steve Belichick at halftime.
Mullings up the middle, and finally it looks like what we've seen from Mullings the last couple of weeks. Had just 20 yards in the first half, picks up 7 there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, look, these are 2 excellent backs, you know, and Mullings has been the go-to guy the last few weeks. He basically won the USC game. He was the starter last week. Donovan Edwards has been relegated to the number 2 guy. But what Donovan Edwards did in the second quarter is why this game is a 4-point game.
Second down and 3. Tuttle to the air, to the outside. Loveland, the catch, and a first down.
Penalty marker down was thrown right before the ball was snapped. I'm wondering if Washington had too many guys on the field.
Legal substitution. Defense had 12 men on the field. That penalty is declined. 1st and 10, Michigan.
Yeah, I saw Cameron Broussard, number 8, kind of trying to sneak his way off the field. Now he's coming back out, but little personnel confusion there on the second play. I'm sure Steve Belichick not happy about that little mix-up, and another penalty, although it was declined.
Michigan has a total of 7 completions. 4 of them have gone to Colston Loveland for only 19 yards.
Who else can step up? Samaj Morgan, number 0, has got to be a factor.
And they give it to him here on the handoff. And Morgan will pick up 5 on the stutter step before getting leveled by Ephesian Prysock.
Samaj Morgan did not play last week. He's back in the lineup. Frederick Morse, number 3, they kind of feel like he has started to come along, but this has got to be their go-to guy. And they just have not been able to generate anything. Their passing numbers, no matter who's playing quarterback, are similar to Army and Navy, right, who run triple option, you know, and that just is not good.
They've run triple option well so far this season. A lot of wins. As a flag is down, they're going to blow this dead before Michigan can even get it rolling.
False start. Offense number 0. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So Morgan gains 5 yards and then has it taken away immediately.
Well, there's confusion here in the alignment. They weren't set before the ball was snapped. Got to be set a full second before you snap the football. And Morgan was not.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 13:25.
Well, these are the numbers that you were mentioning, the pass numbers in particular. The points per game is one thing, but you look at those last 3, 129th, 129th, 132nd in the country.
Triple digits are never good, and those are high triple digits. I mean, those are really not good. I mean, they've won without it, but I don't think that's sustainable over the long haul, or even the long of this game.
Tuttle looking, Mullings incomplete. Broussard was lurking, and it's 3rd and 10.
Well, this ball should have been thrown outside because Mullings turned over his left shoulder, expecting that ball towards the sideline. It was thrown back inside. Not an easy ball for him to catch. 3rd and 10 now. Kind of plays into the hands of this Washington defense and the crowd as well.
Changing the play here with the play clock nearing 5.
Your Washington know where Loveland is.
Tuttle steps up, delivers a rocket over the middle to a Morion Walker for a first down into Washington territory. Gains 22.
Well, it's press man coverage. It starts with protection, and then Tuttle works across the progressions and delivers a strike on 3rd and long. And this is the kind of throw that Michigan has not seen very much of this season, and it couldn't have come at a bigger time right there.
Took a hit from Mikel Steen, but now Tuttle up to 54 yards. There's the explosive type play you're looking for. Down the field, keeps the drive alive. Just look at the command, the experience from the 7th-year senior. Handoff Mullings. So hard to bring down at 6'2", 233, and he brings it across the 35.
Well, again, you make a completion like that on 3rd down, it makes this defense play more honestly, and now you give it back to your sledgehammer, and you let him power his way for 6 yards. And now you have 2nd and very manageable, and this is in favor of the offense.
Edwards back out there, 5 yards away from a season high of 82. Tuttle on 2nd and 4 will take it himself. Stutter step move, dives forward, and he's got the first down.
A nice decision that time by Tuttle. If he would have slid, he would have been short. He dove forward with the ball, and I think he's going to get the first down. Yeah. Knew what he needed, knew how far he had to go, avoided the hit, and got the first down.
Steve Belichick is just trying to find the right matchups right now with a different quarterback. It started with Orji. He completed his first 3, missed his next 4, and Tuttle has been in ever since, leading 2 straight scoring drives, looking for a 3rd. Edwards for 3.
It really all starts for Steve Belichick and on the other side for Kirk Campbell with how you play on 1st down. You know, if they gain positive yards on 1st, they get themselves in 3rd down in manageable situations, it's hard to play defense against a team that can run as well as Michigan. In the 2nd quarter, Michigan was kind of able to do that the way they wanted to. Big 2nd down play right here now for the Washington defense.
Morgan, the motion man, they get it to him on 2nd down and 7. And let him speed it onto the outside into the red zone. 1st down. Get him involved to the tune of 15 yards.
Well, watch Peyton O'Leary, number 81, come in here and just clean it out. Nobody had leverage on this play. Morgan comes all the way across the formation, and the corner just came too far with him. Excellent play design that time and called by Kirk Campbell. They outflanked the defense because the defender, Ephesian Prysock, came too far in the motion and couldn't get back outside to stop the play.
10th play of this drive with Edwards still in there. It is Edwards, patient, inside the 10.
I would say subtle Tuttle, right? 6 for 8, 70 yards, but just enough to keep Washington's defense on their heels a little bit. And Donovan Edwards has got some juice in this ball game and a couple nifty play calls, and Michigan now with an opportunity to try to take the lead.
And I would say that was Rod, Todd. 2nd and 7. Fred Moore, the motion man. Tuttle looking to the air. Tuttle.
Oh, he had his tight end. Missed
Now
it.
has to escape. Throws. Oh, it's there. Loveland. Touchdown. Tuttle. Impressive.
Oh, I love it. He had his other tight end, Klein, wide open and missed him. But he extended the play and found Loveland. Watch Klein come open right here. Wide open. Misses him. Extend the play, keep my eyes downfield, and I find old reliable Colston Loveland, and I get the touchdown anyway. Good poise by the seventh-year quarterback, Jack Tuttle.
An 11-play, 75-yard drive in 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Zavada's extra point makes it 17-14, and for the first time today, the number 10 team in the country with 17 unanswered has the lead on the road in their first road game of the season. It's Tuttle through the air to Loveland. A look at the United Cam as the sun begins to set in the Pacific Northwest. Beautiful night here in Seattle and some beautiful football now being played. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That is an incredible setting. It's my first time here. I know we talked about it.
It's gorgeous.
It's delivered.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful stadium, great crowd. Can't beat the setting. I think there's only 3 places in college football where on a college campus stadium that is on a body of water. This is one of them.
Jedd Fisch said, we don't just want this to be the most beautiful setting, we want it to be the loudest setting. And the fans have been loud, but Jack Tuttle's been unfazed.
Yeah, I mean, what a great drive. I mean, only 26 yards in the first half, but he was 4 of 5 for 52 on that drive with the touchdown. Had a long completion of 22 yards. That's the first 20-plus yard completion by a wide receiver on the Michigan team since week 2 against Texas. So it has been a dry spell, and Jack Tuttle has brought some life into this Michigan offense, and they have their first lead of the ballgame.
Now it's Will Rogers' turn after the quick start. Had a couple of scoring drives, had a touchdown to each of his top 2 receivers from Boston and Jackson. A blocked field goal at the end of the first half. They go for the quick strike here to Hunter, and he'll lose a yard.
You talk about an athlete. Kenneth Grant is a large man, 6'3", 339 pounds. Watch how fast he gets out and makes a play on this screen. He reads it, and he and Mason Graham are both out there making a play on the perimeter. These are 2 incredibly athletic big men.
Right back to the air, dump it. Coleman with space, has a man to beat, and he does to the outside for the first down. 13-yard pickup.
Will Rogers beat the pressure that time. Mason Graham right in his face, able to dump it off to Coleman. Coleman is very effective in this Washington passing game, whether it's as a protector or a dump down receiver. Turn that one into a first down.
Jedd Fisch said the same jump he made from year 1 to year 2, he did from year 2 to year 3, and a nice bolt by Josiah Stewart. Comes up with a sack and a big loss from Rogers.
Well, if you try to add pressure to take away Graham, you leave somebody one-on-one. In this case, it was Josiah Stewart. The back tried to help on Mason Graham, who was in the quarterback's face the last play. One-on-one for Josiah Stewart, and the guy who leads this team in sacks and tackles for loss beats one-on-one and makes a play.
Makes it 2nd and 17 with Coleman split out wide on an empty set. Rogers, Jackson makes a man miss. Jackson, shifty, may have gotten the first down. Broke the initial tackle of Zeke Berry and took it for 17.
They like Zeke Berry, but he has been victimized a lot in the passing game through the first 6 ball games. Got beat on a touchdown earlier, that time not in a position to make a tackle, and first down.
Coleman up the middle, slippery through the hole for 7.
They talk about Jedd Fisch and Brendan Carroll, both from the NFL, and the NFL game is a game of matchups. Well, according to PFF, coming into this game, Zeke Berry was the most targeted defender who gave up the most completions, and they have gone after him a couple times in this ball game for good dividends.
2nd down and 3, right back to Coleman, and this time it's sniffed out by Stewart. He's finding that rhythm again, back on the field.
He is so fast off the edge, and then watch the angle he takes. I mean, straight down the line of scrimmage. No wasted effort, gets right on the hip of the tackle and uses that speed to chase down the play.
Critical 3rd down and 4. Coleman at the bottom of your screen, out wide. Rodgers feeling the pressure. Gets rid of it, short for Boston.
Yeah, this is bad work by guard Memelar, the left guard. Watch, TJ Guy is just going to run right by the guard. Just bad technique. Should have stepped inside to take that away. And TJ Guy forces the errant throw. I mean, nothing Will Rogers could do on that play. Michigan able to generate pressure without blitzing. They're generating pressure with just a 4-man rush, winning one-on-ones up front.
McAllister with his 3rd punt of the day. Just gets it off. Tyler Morris, fair catch called. And he'll let it go over his head and into the end zone. 5:29 to play in this 3rd quarter. And Michigan, 17 straight points, looking for more. One of the special aspects of Husky Stadium, you've got the band right on the water, overlooks Lake Washington, and you see the OG of this Michigan defense, Wink Martindale.
Yeah, talking to him this week, he said, "Now I love how hard we're playing, but we got to find a way to finish games. The last 3 games, they've won them all, but have given up a lot of points in the second half. Good start to this second half."
Owens spun down, picks up 1.
We talked about Jack Tuttle. Can he give him a spark? Can he get the ball downfield a little bit? This 3rd down play for 22 yards to a wide receiver was huge. A nice run here to get another 1st down, and then extending the play and finding Colston Loveland, not panicking, and giving Michigan their first lead. A bold move and a strong move, putting him in at quarterback.
Tuttle throws, batted down. Hands from Deshaun Lynch up front, makes it 3rd and 9.
He had Mullings too, coming out of the backfield. That's where he was going with the football. Number 20 is going to be open, and if Lynch doesn't get a hand on this, it's a pretty big completion. The safety was late getting over to Mullings, but a nicely timed jump and a tip pass. Both tight ends to the top together.
Tuttle on 3rd and 9. Fires. Loveland incomplete.
Tried to get him on the slant, but the linebacker, one of the leaders in there, got right in the throwing lane. Tupatala, number 11, did a nice job of getting in the way of that throwing lane and forcing the punt.
So a 3 and out, and Washington's defense badly needed that after 3 straight scoring drives led by Jack Tuttle. Now it'll be Doman sending it away to Denzel Boston.
Should have good field position here too for the Huskies. Short kick.
And Boston does bring it in just shy of the 45. 36-yard punt. Great field position for Will Rogers and this Washington offense when we come back. Tomorrow night, the Cowboys head to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Football Night in America begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on NBC and Peacock. As the Steelers look to get back on the winning track, the Cowboys look to find that Week 1 form. And Will Rogers going to do the same for this Washington offense, now on the sideline for this first play with Damon Williams Jr., the talented freshman in there at quarterback.
Yeah, I think Jedd Fisch looking for another little spark of his own. The last time Damon Williams was on the field, they ran the razzle-dazzle play for a big game. He's an excellent runner, but he can throw it too.
And he will here on 1st down. Williams showing off those wheels. Gets to the outside and the corner across midfield. Let's check in with Jordan Cornette.
Noah, USC, Minnesota, 5 left in the 3rd. Direct snap, Woody Marks directly to pay dirt. Trojans by a score now, 17-10, and a good one there in Minneapolis. Back to you guys.
All right, JC. So number 11 up by a score. Number 10 in the country, up by 3. And Williams, this is something that Jedd Fisch said. He wants 10 to 15 plays per game out of his freshman, so he's ready to go when he takes the reins next year. Hands it to another true freshman. No, he keeps it himself. And Williams gets the first down.
Yeah, he rode that fake for quite a long time. And this is a different wrinkle. This gives the Michigan defense a different look because he is an electric runner. Good fake, sold it, and then was able to turn it into a first down. He may be one of, if not the fastest player on this Washington team playing quarterback. Will Rogers back in now, but a nice little spark from the backup, Demond Williams.
Jedd Fisch said he's going to give us a heck of a run in the future. Rogers back in there, set up the screen for Latu. First down.
Second time we've seen him run this play, and for the second time, Drew has a party. Watch the right tackle, number 74, get out in front of this play. It's a tight end screen, sell it, patience, and excellent blocking downfield by the right side of that Washington offensive line. That's how you offset an aggressive pass rushing team. You know, they've been getting pressure on Will Rogers here. You invite that rush and you throw the little screen. It was well executed.
Latu now 5 catches, 47 yards, 2 of those coming on those screen passes. Rogers over the middle, may have been tipped and incomplete. Mason Graham always seems to be in the middle of things, just so impactful at that spot.
Yeah. Well, and you just have choices to make if you're an offense. Are we going to block him single? Are we going to double? Are we going to turn somebody loose on the edge? They just put a lot of stress on your offensive line.
Now Williams right back in there. Stays out there with Adam Muhammad, the true freshman. And this time they do give it to Muhammad. And he'll pick up 4, maybe 5. Makes it third and a little bit more manageable.
Well, and you wonder, is Jedd Fisch thinking 4-down territory here with the problems that his kicker has had?
Williams stays in on 3rd and 6. And the slant perfectly delivered for the first down.
And that shows you the confidence they have in this young quarterback. It's 3rd down and 6. They're not being conservative. They're going to let him throw. Critical situation. He's on time. He's on target. And Washington keeps the drive alive. And Williams stays on the field.
They've expected Jeremiah Hunter's production to go up as the season continues. Williams, the keeper, the speed out of bounds.
The one thing Jedd Fisch said, he doesn't want to put this guy in tough situations, so he hasn't had him in a lot of goal line or real short red zone situations, but he's given them a little spark. I would not be surprised if he stays in now and see if he can get the team in the end zone.
Todd, the red zone woes coming in, we knew, but they're 2 for 2 with the 2 touchdowns already in the red zone today. Williams stays out there, as does Muhammad, on this 2nd and 1. Muhammad up the middle.
Yeah, that's going to be close. All depending on the spot. He was hit immediately. Looks like they're signaling first down. So now with the ball right around the 10-yard line, will they go back to Will Rogers or will they keep Demond Williams in the game? It looks like they're keeping Williams in. Again, as we've already seen, it doesn't necessarily mean it's automatically a run or a quarterback run. He's thrown the football twice today and effectively. So Michigan has to play him honest. They can't play him as a runner only.
Came in 4th on the team in rushing. Looking to throw here. Gets away from Stewart, directing traffic, and then hit out of bounds. No flag comes in. Jair Hill lowered the shoulder, and Williams making his way towards the sideline. The crowd reacts. Terry, what do you think here?
Well, we're going to look at a replay, but it appears he's still in bounds when he makes that contact. Right there. Yeah, he's still in bounds. This is a legal hit, not a foul, guys.
Yep. Yeah, that foot came down in bounds right before the hit.
So it'll make it 2nd and goal. See, the clock is dwindling down. They don't have to snap this before the end of the 3rd, and it looks like Will Rogers is signaling exactly that, putting the 4 fingers in the Washington motion in the air. 17-14, and we've got a great ball game going to the fourth. It was a 14-0 Husky lead. The Wolverines have scored the last 17. One possession game with 15 to play on Big Ten Saturday night. Aerial coverage brought to you by Ford. Beautiful sunset just a few moments ago, and now darkness has arrived. Not full Bane-style darkness, but darkness enough. Dusk here in Seattle. 15 minutes to play, three-point game, third red zone opportunity, already 2 touchdowns for Washington in their first 2.
And Jackson and Boston both to the top of the screen together.
Rodgers on second down. Feeling the pressure, he gets dumped. Mason Graham, TJ Guy, Josiah Stewart, everybody making an impact.
Yeah, well, the main pressure comes right here. That's what makes it difficult for a quarterback, because he can't step up because of the pressure from Graham, and then the 2 edge guys get there to finish him off. But the problem is created by Mason Graham on the inside.
This guy is absolutely ridiculous. The 2 first-half sacks last week, a big one here, makes it 3rd and goal back from the 20. Rodgers throws, Latu catches, and it is just short of the 10. So now you've got a field goal kicker.
You got to kick it.
You have to.
You got to kick it and try to tie the ball game. That was a good play right there to get the yardage back and give your kicker an easier shot. He missed one, and he had one blocked. I don't necessarily blame him for the blocked one, but he has got to come through for his team right here. This guy was a Groza Award, mention coming into the season because he was great last year. Got to do his job right here.
Chip shot, 29-yarder for Grady Gross, and this one is perfect. Response from the crowd. Washington ends the bleeding. 17 straight from Michigan, and we are all knotted up now at 17 early in the 4th quarter. Gross back on the board.
I am, because I love Nate Bargatze, and the last time he was the host, the George Washington skit may have been the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It was excellent.
Yeah.
So
he even got some football conversation in that one.
He did.
Yeah.
We'll call it football. Yeah. We'll use exclusively our hands. There'll be a little kicking. 13:38 to play, all even now at Husky Stadium, as Harris will take a knee in the end zone. Take a look at our target QB comparison for tonight. If you're joining us a little later, Alex Orji started the game for Michigan, but Jack Tuttle has come in and he has led a couple of scoring drives to get Michigan in position to win a game.
Yeah, he has. And Will Rogers started off hot and had a nice drive right there to get points on the board. But the problem for Washington is this pass rush of Michigan has started to get home and started to make their presence felt. So the ball's going to have to come out quick for Will Rogers the next time he's on the field.
Donovan Edwards has a season-high 83 yards on the ground, including a 39-yard touchdown. Does he have more magic against the Huskies in him? Hand off to him on first down, and he'll weave his way for 3.
We mentioned also not only the quarterback changes for Michigan, but changes up front. New center Greg Crippen tonight because Dominic Jadis was hurt, not making the trip. Miles Hinton, their best lineman, starting left tackle, not here. Jeff Percy in at left tackle. So a lot of challenge for those guys as well.
Charleston in motion on second down and 7. Delayed handoff, and Edwards just slipped, lost his footing.
Boy, he had a crease too. I mean, he was trying to cut this back, and there was a beautiful cutback lane. Watch this now. If he gets this and maintains his balance, there is a cutback lane right here that he would have been able to run through. Michigan had not closed the gap. I mean, Washington had not closed that gap, and instead, it's 3rd and long now for the Wolverines.
Tuttle had the 22-yard completion on 1 3rd down. They went 3 and out the last one.
Pressure
to the air on 3rd and 6. Over the middle, it's incomplete. Looking for Marlon Klein.
Well, nice coverage by Cameron Broussard, number 8, the safety. They brought pressure, which means man-to-man coverage. And Broussard right in position. May have gotten away with a hold. Had his hands around the waist, but able to knock that ball away and force the punt. Jack Tuttle wanted a penalty and might have had a good case there.
So, back-to-back defensive stands from Steve Belichick's crew. And now it'll be Washington getting the football back. Doman's boot back to Denzel Boston. Fair catch called for and brought in at the 32. Will Rogers in this offense with a chance to pull back ahead, approaching 12 minutes to play here on Saturday night. Jordan, so the ball's starting to get it rolling a little bit. You know, one thing Jedd Fisch did say to us, he said, I keep trying to remind this team, we're not in the Pac-12 anymore. We're in the Big Ten, and these games are going to be won in the 20s. You've got to be prepared for that. Here's the exact opportunity to do so.
And one in the trenches. Michigan with 3 defensive tackles in now on this first down play.
Coleman on the handoff. He's been quiet. He'll stay that way.
I mean, Michigan, Wink Martindale anticipating run on that first down play. Had 3 defensive tackles in. Rashawn Benny, number 26, is the first guy that's going to get there in the backfield. Spin Coleman around and for no gain. So a well-conceived defensive personnel group there on first down.
And you see there the numbers for Coleman, 10 for 39. Somebody who's been averaging 7.24 yards per carry coming into the game. 2nd and 9, Rogers, middle, open, caught, Hunter. First down near midfield.
2nd down, Wink Martindale decides to bring pressure. They break out of the bunch, and one receiver breaks open, and that's Jeremiah Hunter. When you bring pressure, it's man-to-man. Bunch formation kind of confuses who has who, and Hunter able to make the catch.
Again, Washington outgaining its opponent. Jackson makes 2 miss.
Wow.
And then runs into a wall, but that is an impressive individual effort by Giles Jackson.
I mean, this looked like it could have been an interception by Zeke Berry. Watch this. Berry is close to making a play on the ball, and Giles Jackson, the former Michigan Wolverine, with some moves.
Another completion, another first down, a lot too.
What I like about this drive right now is the ball is coming out of the hands quickly of Will Rogers, because the pass rush for Michigan has been different in the second half. 4 sacks in the ball game, but the ball's coming out quick right now.
16 catches between Jackson, Boston, and Latu in this one. Play action pass now. Rogers rifles. Oh! Throws his first interception of the year. Ernest Hausman nearly had one in the first half. This time, he rips it down.
Hausman did a beautiful job of just falling under this play, timing his jump, and getting the first interception of the season off of Will Rogers. Back at Husky Stadium, Will Rogers tried to hit Latu, who's already had 7 catches on a little route down the middle, but Ernest Hausman, watch him read play action fake, get back in his zone, eyes on the football, and make an athletic interception. Earlier in the season, Hausman had a tendency to bite on those play action fakes, get too close to the line of scrimmage. That time he played it perfectly and got the first interception thrown this year by Will Rogers.
He's got the turnover buffs. 177 passes without a pick for Will Rogers before that one. And now Mullings finds the hole and scampers forward for 7.
You know, we're seeing tonight from Michigan, probably the best of the whole season, is that 1-2 punch between Kalel Mullings and Donovan Edwards. I mean, this is the best Edwards has played, right? And Mullings has kind of been doing his thing. They're dynamically different in the way they run and their skill sets. And they've been a nice blend along with Jack Tuttle so far today.
testament to how Mullins has played, that he's having an off day. He's averaging 4.1 yards per carry. That one's going to be close to a first down run. It'll likely be 3rd and short. These are some of his numbers according to PFF in the ranks among Power 4 running backs. The yards per carry, top 10. Yards after contact per attempt, top 10. Same with just the overall yards after contact. And the missed tackles forced just outside the top 10 as well.
And I don't think on TV you can appreciate how big and physical he is. Seeing him on the field up close, I mean, he is enormous.
He's a linebacker, shifted to running back, and that's where he thrives, in those type of situations. Short yardage for the first down as we go to KT.
Yeah, guys, Tyler Morris told me you would never know the season that Mullins is having if you just talked to him. He said, I've seen a huge leap in his confidence as the year has gone on. We know if he gets the ball in our heads, he's probably getting us 4 to 5 yards guaranteed. And then I don't know how many times you see him break tackles, run someone over, crazy huge runs. He brings a huge price to our offense, Noah.
And KT said that he knows that defenses are thinking about it. 1, where he meets them in the hole, and 2, where they don't necessarily get him down to the ground every time. It's another reminder, hey, you've got to work extra hard just to get him down to that turf. Fresh set of downs for Tuttle. Rolls on the run, caught. Loveland, did he get the foot down? No.
A nice job by Tuttle extending the play and trying to get the ball to Loveland. You see the catch radius, incredible catch, but clearly out of bounds. The other thing about Mullins, Noah, is that, I mean, he's big and physical and breaks tackle and hard to get on the ground, but he has also had many long runs this year.
Yeah.
So when he gets to the second level, he has the ability to outrun people.
Of course, the big ones against USC, including the long run to eventually set up his impressive touchdown on 4th and goal. Play clock all the way down when they got the snap off. Tuttle surveys. Lost the football. Washington's got it. Tunuufi knocked it out. And Sagapolu brought it in. Washington has possession.
Jack Tuttle has not been hit much, obviously. He missed all of spring, most of fall camp, coming back from an elbow injury. He's trying to protect it, but it gets punched out clearly and recovered by Washington. I mean, quarterbacks in general don't get a lot of live tackling, especially ones who are coming back from injury. And Jack Tuttle just not secure with the football. We saw the Michigan turnover the last possession, and now the Huskies return the favor.
Tunuufi and Sagapolu, big names, make a big play.
I'm glad you were the one saying it.
I saw you with a perplexed look. So they threw the interception at the 37. Now they start at the 32. And there goes Jonah Coleman. 1st and goal.
Well, again, this is what makes him special. His ability to jump cut. Watch the first cut. He starts inside. Boom. Right outside. Another cut. 2 little jump cuts on the same run. And all of a sudden, he's on the edge of the defense. Explosive and that cutting ability and vision. And here we are again in the red zone for Washington.
Will Rogers said at some point, you know, Coleman's going to break one. Even if they stop him early, it's only a matter of time. That one goes for 27. 1st and goal from the 5.
I give him the ball again.
And they do. Coleman disappears into the pile, picks up a yard.
We talked coming in, what did Washington have to do better than they did in the 2 games they lost? Had to cut their penalties down. They've done a better job of that. Only 3 penalties so far in the ball game. Have to be better on 3rd down. They've done that, and they had to be better in the red zone. They have been better in the red zone. 4 trips, 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal. They're thinking touchdown right here.
They've got 2 running backs in there with Coleman and Davis.
You can see help on this side against Boston.
And this one's going to be blown dead.
Yep, they were going to go the other way.
Michigan, first charge timeout.
Nice looking jump shot from Will Rogers after the fact. So Michigan takes the timeout. It'll be a 2nd and goal from the Michigan 4. 6:41 to play. And it felt like Michigan had all the momentum on their side, but you've got to credit this Washington defense. Came up with some really impressive stuff, but back-to-back 3-and-outs force, only 5 yards allowed on those 2 possessions.
Yep. You know, last week in New Jersey on Friday night, they lost by 3 to Rutgers.
To 6:44, 6:44. Thank you.
But they outgained the Scarlet Knights by 222 yards. It was an amazing disparity of yardage, and they had no turnovers the entire night. You would think that's an automatic win, right? But they were bad on 3rd down. They were not effective in the red zone, and they had costly penalties. They've corrected those things tonight, and now they have an opportunity to take the lead here again.
Outgaining Michigan in this game, 4:15 to 2:61. Coleman is the back. 3 wide receivers set. 5 on the play clock. Coleman up the middle. Waiting on the official signal.
Oh, he's in, right?
Touchdown.
They showed pass. They had 3 receivers out to the wide side, and they fed the ball to Coleman again for the touchdown. You see the strength. He's taking Kenneth Grant, number 78, with him into the end zone.
Please reset the game clock to 6:41, 6:41.
Kenneth Grant, the big inside tackle, 6'3", 340 pounds. And Jonah Coleman just said, I'm taking you in the end zone with me.
Touchdown confirmed. Gross for the extra point. 24-17. All of this started with a fumble forced by this Washington defense. Tuttle looking to get away from the pressure, couldn't do so. Then the gashing run from Coleman set up the goal to go, and he finishes it off with some physical play in the middle.
And don't cry. Your folks might.
While we were away, they ruled that Jonah Coleman was actually short on this touchdown. Terry McCauley, first of all, what'd you see on the play? Second of all, can they do this after the extra point was actually kicked?
Well, Noah, there's no question his knee's down. The left knee's down with the ball clearly short of the goal line. I spoke with the folks in the Big Ten Command Center and they told me that they instructed the officials that they were stopping the game right before the snap occurred. So there was no try for point. They got it shut down. They reversed to short.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Well, now a regroup for both teams. 3rd down and less than 1 in this red zone opportunity.
Jumbo set. Back to Coleman. Over the top. No doubt about this one. Touchdown, Washington.
Oh, I love the toughness. Earlier this season, we saw highlights of Jonah Coleman hurdling a defender, getting airborne. This time, he hurdles the line of scrimmage and gets the touchdown. Up and over, ball clearly across the plane. No knee down on this one. And Washington with the touchdown in the lead.
Gross extra point. Officially 24-17. Coleman, the catalyst after the fumble. And finally goes Superman through the pile.
Well, he has got some hops now, I'm telling you. The long run with the double jump cut to get him down in the deep red zone, and just the mental and physical toughness to have the touchdown off the board and come right back out in 3rd and 1 and make no doubt about it.
Coleman comes with a little bit of ice. Jed Fish says he's cool to wear whatever he wants as long as he maintains what he always does. He's got a 4.0 GPA, one of the leaders on this team and has been one of their top performers as well.
This Washington defense, a lot of turnovers last year, only 4 coming into this game through the first 5 games. And a critical one there that led to points.
And some big points at that after Michigan had scored 17 straight, a touchback here, 24-17. What a response from Washington. And there's a lot of questions surrounding this team with the way they lost the 2 games they did. As you mentioned, outgained their opponents, easily could be 5-0,
Yeah.
proving it once again here tonight.
Well, they did what they had to do to put themselves in this position. Now, there's still a lot of game left, right? But better in the red zone, better on 3rd down, and fewer penalties. So now that yardage advantage, they're capitalizing on it, right? Then they get the critical turnover. They turn that into points. So they're doing the things better that they didn't do in their 2 losses, but they still have 6:22 left on the clock.
How does Jack Tuttle and this Michigan offense respond? That's a good start with Donovan Edwards just gliding his way to about the 30.
Yeah, a lot of time here for Michigan, right? I mean, a lot of time. They don't have to just start throwing it all over the lot. They need to stay ahead of the sticks. They can't give up negative yardage plays and put their offensive line and their quarterback in tough situations.
Edwards nearing 100 yards, now 92 in the touchdown. Bredesen, the motion man, back to Edwards. And he gets close to the marker. Will set up 3rd down and a short 2.
Mullings coming in the ball game now, the bigger back. We've also seen Tuttle keep the ball and run, although he fumbled the last time he did.
Jedd Fisch has gotten the environment he asked for.
Play clock down under 10 right now. Michigan's got to get the ball snapped.
3rd down and 2. It's Mullings. He's short. Got to him immediately. And that's a very favorable spot. They're going to, at least on the near side, say that he has the 1st down yardage, but he looks short initially here.
Yeah, really good job getting penetration into the backfield. Mullings showing leg strength, getting that ball close to the line, but Washington was able to push that line of scrimmage back.
Wow.
Mullings just able to reach forward for the 1st down. They'll probably take a look at this too, right?
The field was a 1st down. The previous play is under further review.
Think about that game winner against USC. The way he had to fight into the end zone did Kalel Mullings.
Yeah.
Just to get this 1st down, should this stand as getting the yard to gain here, which is the 35-yard line, the 2nd effort is what would have gotten him.
Yeah. Washington actually won this play at the line of scrimmage. They pushed Michigan back. And they hit Mullings behind the line of scrimmage. But you see his strength to strain for that 1st down marker.
Here's the initial hit. Where's his knee down?
Terry, what do you think on this one?
Yeah, guys, we're trying to find exactly when that knee hits. It looks like it hits just with the ball barely short. But again, it's got to be indisputable to reverse this one. Right now, I'm not sure that it is so far.
And these are the close calls. These are the welcome to the Big Ten moments once again for Washington. We've seen it now with these 4 West Coast teams joining the conference. And Jedd Fisch mentioned it to his team. You've got to win these games in the 20s. You've got to know that all these teams are similar. And the physical brand of football, it comes down to literal inches in these games.
You know, it's funny. I was talking to Jedd Fisch on the field before the game and just talking about the environment and everything as we take another look. And we're just saying, you know, I got to convince our fans, you know, this is Big Ten football.
After further review, the runner's knee was down with the ball short of the line of game. It'll be 4th down, Michigan.
So now what do you do here? 4th and incredibly short. You're back at your own 35-yard line.
Well, it looks the offense is still on the field. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go for it. They could just go for a hard snap count and see if they can get a free first down, but
it is Mullings.
He didn't need much. He didn't get much, but I think he got enough. I never like on those kind of short yardage goal line plays being in the shotgun and starting with the ball 5 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Prior to the snap, the center moved the ball forward. Therefore, we will replay 4th down. There was no play.
So replay from the same spot?
Terry, is this is from the exact same spot, essentially, just without it being moved forward?
It is. They shut the play down because the center moved the ball up to the line to gain, which you can't do. So They're in instructions. They shut it down. They warn the team if they do it again, it'll be a penalty. But now they'll absolutely play the down.
And this has been now complete anarchy at the line of scrimmage.
Well, again, the center is different.
Stop the game for a medical timeout.
The announcement was just that replay has stopped the game for a medical timeout. Greg Crippen is the center in place of Dominic Jadis, who was the starting center. As it is, we have another 4th down play with less than a yard to go.
And the injured player is Voi Tunu Ofis. You see, this time it didn't work out for me, but Tunu Ofi, who forced the fumble, will go off here. Michigan 6 for 7 on the season on 4th down, and they've had a couple of moments to really think about this one. They're going to stay out of the shotgun with Mullings. Handoff, Mullings over the top, and he's going to have the first down.
This is like a mirror image, right? We saw Coleman. The play got reversed, had to go for it again. Coleman goes over the top. Play gets reversed. Michigan has to go for it again, and Mullings goes over the top. I was telling you, Jed Fish was saying, I got to get our fans, they got to recalibrate. The days of 42-39 games and Pac-12 games are over. This is Big Ten football. It's going to be much different. Still exciting, but different.
Keep in mind, Michigan had to burn one of their timeouts, so they've got 2 and the 2-minute timeout, but some movement and the flag.
Full start. Offense number 68. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's the veteran, the transfer from Northwestern, Josh Preeb. Just a little bit. This was something Sharon Moore said they had to avoid, especially when the crowd got into it at this level. Tuttle, plenty of time in the pocket. Rifles picked off. What a play. They call him Cam Fab, and that interception was exactly that.
Well, Tuttle is trying to get the ball to Loveland. And the ball is not in a bad spot, but Cam Fab makes a decision to try to undercut this route. Watch on the cross. He undercuts it and gets the pick. The ball's not behind the receiver. It's in the right spot, but this is just a whale of a play by the safety. Maybe a little behind Loveland, but nonetheless a beautiful play by the Washington secondary. And the second turnover of the game charged to Jack Tuttle.
Back-to-back drives with a turnover, 7th career interception for Tuttle. And Damon Williams into the ball game on first down. Williams slides down wisely after a gain of 2.
Yeah, right now the clock is Washington's friend. Michigan with 2 timeouts. There's a heads-up play by Damon Williams. Get a few yards, get down. And now Will Rogers back in the game, and Washington will use as much clock as they possibly can. Sharon Moore will have the 2-minute timeout as an extra timeout. But they got to get a stop.
Coleman on second down. Runs into a wall after a yard.
Michigan using one of those timeouts right now.
Timeout, Michigan. 30-second timeout.
This is a Michigan defense that, while they don't return a ton of starters necessarily from last year's team, they returned a ton of experience. Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, Josiah Stewart, Will Johnson. These are guys that played major snaps. And then you brought a guy in Jayshon Barham who was a stud at Maryland. Hausman, major snaps. These are guys who have been battle tested in these situations. They haven't been great in the fourth quarter this season, especially the last couple of weeks. But if you need a play, this is the unit you trust for this team.
And they've been better tonight than they have been the last few weeks in the second half. But the turnovers have put them in some negative field position situations. And they got to fight like heck right now. But what a great interception by that guy. And a big smile, and deservedly so.
Normally the 35 would be field goal range for Washington, but Gross has been shaky. This is a 3rd and 8. Rogers to throw, lofts it, sideline, incomplete, and a flag. Will Johnson, face coverage on Denzel Boston, and a critical mistake.
Yeah, because, I mean, Will Rogers is under heat, and he's just throwing this up. And the problem for Will Johnson is he did not know where the ball was. The ball, because of pressure, was coming back to the
There are
inside.
2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 6, with a high hit to the quarterback. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, defense number 2. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Rogers gets enough on this ball, but it's back to the inside, and you can see the grab of the face mask by Will Johnson as Boston tried to cross over the the defender to get to the football. Will Johnson got a hold of the face mask.
And Todd, just like that, Michigan has more penalty yardage than Washington tonight.
And that's their best cover corner. I mean, they went after him. Michigan got pressure, albeit with a penalty, but a costly penalty right there on Will Johnson.
You still have the 2-minute timeout and one of your own timeouts. It'll be Coleman up the middle. And he keeps the legs churning for 3. Moore makes the beeline for the officials. Will call his final timeout with 2:16 on the clock.
Timeout, Michigan, 3rd and final timeout.
What a back and forth affair in this national championship rematch. And of course, with so many new faces in new places. But credit to Jedd Fisch and his team. We asked him about the response this week in practice, and he had been thoroughly impressed. His team has responded.
They have responded. They've been physical. They've matched the physicality. This was the fumble that set up the Jonah Coleman touchdown. And then the pick. Washington with a couple huge takeaways here in the fourth quarter. Michigan only with 272 yards of offense in the game, so this Washington defense has kind of played to form the way Steve Belichick has had them playing all season.
Will Rogers to the sideline. Damon Williams Jr., the talented freshman, back in there.
Yeah, I just don't know that you would think about throwing right here if you're Washington. Run the football, use the clock.
Coleman. And we'll set up 3rd and short as we approach the 2-minute timeout. Jack Tuttle just hoping he gets one more shot. Washington firmly in field goal range after the interception with 2 minutes to play. Rematch of the national championship. The Huskies looking for revenge, and on the cusp, 7-point cushion with 2 minutes to play on Big Ten Saturday night. Upcoming schedule presented by Discover, and we have a massive game in Eugene next week.
Winning's a habit.
Touchdown, Dylan Gabriel!
I think I've always had that competitive nature. We know that we're trying to chase excellence every single year. We're going to Eugene, and that's going to be a phenomenal experience. You look for those big-time games. That's what football is all about.
Very excited for that one. Just keeping eyes on this one. Todd, is pretty simple. A first down here ends the game.
Yep, ends the game. If they come up short, they still got to trust their kicker to try to make it a 2-score game. Run that clock down as much as they can to set up that field goal. But if they make a first down here, it's lights out.
And it is the freshman Damon Williams at quarterback on 3rd and 3. Coleman to the outside. Coleman looks like he's short.
Short, but still in bounds.
So Michigan keeps it to contain. And now Grady Gross, who missed from 41, had one block from 28, and then made from 28.
Yeah, and Jedd Fisch will let this go down as far as he can. 1 second left on the play clock. He'll call timeout.
About a minute 10 should be remaining here. Gross missed 3 last week and 2 this week. Had missed 5 in a row. That includes the block. But this would make it a 10-point game and make it awfully difficult for the Wolverines. First possession of the game for Gross. A 41-yard attempt, and just like the 3 he missed last week at Rutgers, wide to the left. Then, right before the end of the first half, he had this one blocked by Mason Graham from 28 yards out. Then he comes right back, and in the second half, gets back on the board from just inside 30. He's got to send him out there and try to extend this lead.
Yeah. You know, we made the point early in this broadcast. This Washington team could very easily have been 5-0 coming into the game. The 2 games they lost, both 3-point losses in the Apple Cup to Washington State, last week at Rutgers, self-inflicted wounds was really the difference in the ball game. Today, they cut those way down, and they put themselves in position to win a huge game here at home.
It's a 32-yard attempt to make it a 10-point game. Grady Gross, one of the captains of this Husky football team. And his kick is good. Smooth operation. Gross, who had 4 game-winning field goals last year, normally so clutch, so good in these situations, and he finds what he needed to find. Jedd Fisch has been continuously supporting him, and there's been a lot of frustration from that guy, Will Rogers, in the 2 losses. It feels like he released a little bit of that after that kick to extend it to 10.
Well, this is a heck of a situation here for Washington. Come in here against Michigan, the team that won the national championship, beat the Huskies last year. Yes, different cast of characters, coaches and players. But these fans here remember it, right? This is a huge winning opportunity for the Huskies.
And this will be short and returnable. Not much room to work with across the 25. So a minute 3 to play for Jack Tuttle. Alex Orji started this game, got pulled after just 7 pass attempts for 15 yards and 3 punts for the Michigan offense. Tuttle brought some juice to the offense, and Donovan Edwards did as well. Now can they find some magic in the final 103?
Yeah, he brought juice, but he also brought 2 turnovers, and that really was the difference in the ball game here in the second half in the 4th quarter. The fumble on the run and the interception. And now they're down 2 scores.
There's back-to-back punts, the fumble, the pick, and the completion here across the 30 and out of bounds to Loveland.
Can't say enough about this. Washington defense has been stout. They've held their own against the Michigan run game. Again, when these 2 teams played in January, Michigan ran for over 300 yards. Today, 179, but they've forced the 2 turnovers as well.
Tuttle, dump it, Edwards. And they'll just surge forward to the 40.
In Washington right now, all they're saying is, we're not going to play prevent, but we want to keep the ball in front of us. Make them throw underneath, and then tackle in space. Nothing easy or cheap. Make them use all that clock.
Tuttle, flushed. And he throws it away. Tuna Ufi applying the pressure. 42 seconds here. Michigan's first road game. Steve Belichick, son of Bill, first-year defensive coordinator, has called a heck of a game.
He really has. You know, they adjusted to the quarterback change. They were much better in the second half.
Second and 10 for Tuttle. Down he goes! Engulfed by Isaiah Ward.
Ward's working on the new left tackle. Percy just beat him in a one-on-one and got to the quarterback. Of course, they're not playing run at all here, just going after the quarterback.
3rd and 15. Tuttle over the middle. Klein chucked down. Fabiculanen had the pick, and now the clock under 10. The fans can feel it. Redemption here in Seattle. Michigan trying to get a playoff, and they won't.
Game's over.
Washington avenges the loss in the national championship, and here come the fans. 27-17, your final at Husky Stadium. A signature win for Jedd Fisch, standing by with Catherine Tappan.
Yeah, and standing by with a sea of purple as well. Coach, this one has to feel pretty special for you with this crowd now surrounding you.
Well, I feel so good for the University of Washington. I wasn't here at the last game they played against Michigan. But for our team and for last year's team, I hope we had some good redemption.
You wanted to see how your team would respond after the penalties last week. How would you grade their play overall tonight?
I think we did a great job. We didn't have a lot of self-inflicted wounds, 4 or 5 penalties. Good job.
And finally, you describe your quarterback, Will Rogers, as having phenomenal leadership. What more did he show to you tonight?
Yeah, I thought Will did great. I thought the whole team played great. Staff did a great job. Really proud of everybody.
All right, Coach, I got to get you out of here. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Awesome.
You can feel it. Jedd Fisch, who took over an Arizona program that literally did not win a game the season before. They won 1 game in his first season, eventually got to a 10-win season last year, and he just believes so much in his players. That includes his transfer quarterback, Will Rogers, with KT.
Yeah, Will, congratulations. I don't know how long we're going to be able to keep you here, but what is your biggest takeaway from this victory and this crowd support?
Man, I'm just so blessed just to be here. I mean, I'm a small kid, a kid just from small town in Mississippi. So I'm just blessed to be here. I'm thankful for my teammates, but, you know, all glory to God, man. You know, I can't describe what he's done in my life. So, you know, all glory to God.
You talked about this week about wanting to improve your red zone accuracy. You did that tonight. What specifically was working so well for you guys?
I mean, I honestly think it's just the way we practice all week. You know, from Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday, we really locked in. Had a great week of practice, and it showed off tonight.
And finally, Will, I've got to ask you about the reverse call on the touchdown to Jonah Coleman. How did you keep your composure to come right back out and deliver again?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things that didn't go our way in the second half. But, you know, for us just to keep our composure, you know, play the next play and, you know, come out with a win, it was huge.
All right, we'll go celebrate this one. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, KT, you know, we talked to Will Rogers yesterday, and you could just feel how much he's enjoyed being here in Washington.
Yeah.
He's from Mississippi, played great at Mississippi State, but he almost said that when he was going out there on Saturdays, he was trying not to make a mistake, and he's playing free here, and I think that seemed to permeate through the rest of the team tonight.
Yeah, you know, and it was funny because it really struck me when we were sitting there visiting with him. Reminded me so much of Bo Nix leaving Auburn and coming to Oregon and feeling like a new lease on life and a new freedom as a quarterback and playing great. And Will Rogers is kind of following that same script, and this was a huge win. And, you know, the other thing that impressed me about Washington tonight, they eliminated those mistakes that had hurt them in those 2 losses, and they matched the physicality of Michigan. If you want to win a game like this against Michigan, you better be physical. You better be physical at the line of scrimmage, and they matched that tonight. And so they earned this win. They outgained them. They forced more turnovers. They did everything you have to do to win a football game, and this is a sweet one to enjoy.
So what you're trying to tell me is they are officially a Big Ten team.
Yeah,
right?
they're a Big Ten team now. They've played 3 Big Ten teams. They've beaten 2 of them, and they did it in Big Ten style tonight.
Well, Todd, KT can't really get any more interviews right now because of the crowd on the field. We've seen a couple of fields that have been stormed here tonight in college football. So for more on really what's gone on through the entire day on this wonderful Saturday again, we go to Nicole Auerbach and Joshua Perry. Guys?
Scene that was in Seattle. I'm Nicole Auerbach. He's Joshua Perry. And that was a resounding win for Washington. Will Rogers, we heard how much it meant to him, but also a loss from Michigan that I think we could have foreseen based on their quarterback struggles.
Yeah, and I'll talk about the Washington side of this first. I mean, it was very impressive just from the beginning. I think the offensive game plan for them was tremendous. They were able to jump on Michigan really early and force Michigan to play a different style of football than they probably wanted to. Then you get to the second half, the offense isn't rolling as well, but defensively they came up with a couple of huge turnovers that proved to be big in this game. But you're right about Michigan. The quarterback trouble was something that we had talked about, and the idea that they would get into a game at some point where they couldn't just be a triple option team. And I think now they have to reconcile this idea of throwing the football, which got them back into this game, versus the turnovers that they've had throwing it. Davis Warren had them. Now Jack Tuttle has done the same thing, and that's going to be the real challenge for Michigan moving forward.
Absolutely. It's been a crazy day. We've seen so many upsets and field storms, and there's one that is in the works right now. Minnesota takes the go-ahead touchdown to take the lead on USC late. It was controversial. It had to get overturned. And this was a result that was very interesting. And Minnesota has had a couple of tough outings in a row. PJ was upset, and then they were able to come out on top here after. Oh, sorry, it's not over yet. There's still less than a minute remaining, but Minnesota is poised to upset USC.
Yes,
we'll see.
USC is driving right now, but this would be a huge win for Minnesota. As you mentioned, they've had some struggles certainly throughout the beginning part of this year. It's a team that has an identity, though, in what they want to do, and I think that's how you get to this point. And for USC, we always ask the question about the starts to the game and being able to come back in the second half. Well, what if you're not able to do that? And that's kind of what they were faced with this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, these are Big Ten opponents. They're very tough. Not going to necessarily make mistakes to beat themselves. But this was a day where there were a lot of big-time upsets. Oh, they just picked USC off in the end zone. Minnesota is going to win. Huge, huge win for PJ Fleck and company. And like you said, the second half magic runs out for the Trojans. Speaking of upsets, Alabama,
yes,
#1 in the country coming into the week off of a big win over Georgia. And then they go to play Vanderbilt, a team that has never beat the #1 team in the country.
Yeah, and look at this. We got the goalposts taking a little bit of a journey there through Nashville. I mean, Vanderbilt, what a win. And Diego Pavia was phenomenal in this game, super efficient throwing the football. Bama, their defense really struggled today, couldn't stop a nosebleed, and that's the story of the game.
Yeah, and look at Nate Bargatze. He is a big fan of Vanderbilt, and he's going to be hosting SNL in just a little bit. So pretty good timing for that. But those goalposts had to go, 2.5 miles?
It's a long way
down
to go.
Broadway. And listen, it took them a second to get them down because Vanderbilt doesn't always pull off upsets like this. But that was a huge one, and leaving a lot of questions about the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, and I think the questions for Alabama are on the defensive side of the football. I think they played well enough offensively. Certainly wasn't a perfect game for them to win that. But we knew this was a talented Alabama defense. But we also understood there's a lot of youth and that it was going to be a bit of a growing process with the new staff for Alabama as well. we just didn't expect the surprise to come against a team in Vanderbilt, which historically has not played very good football.
But Joshua always warns us about those letdown games.
That's right.
After a big emotional win over Georgia a week ago, the Crimson Tide go down to Vanderbilt. Big win for Clark Lee and company. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, it's your local news. Later tonight, don't miss an all-new SNL with host Nate Bargatze and musical guest Coldplay. And next Saturday, you won't want to miss Stanford versus Notre Dame at 3:30 Eastern on NBC and Peacock, followed by Ohio State and Oregon at 7:30 p.m. NBC and Peacock Game of the Year in the Big Ten. For our entire team here in the studio in Seattle, I'm Nicole Auerbach saying so long for Big Ten Saturday night.